Sleepyhead Productions.
Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Abras from All About Tech. Welcome back to another video. Just before I get into today's video, if you've not followed me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter because I come out with amazing tweets such as this one. Those of you that have seen the Electroneum tweet on, or have you seen on your devices that lovely kid who gives you the gesture of what you need to do for your identity proof to prove that you're not a robot. The moment I saw it, I was like, I've seen that before. I've definitely seen that before. And as it turns out, I had seen it before. It looks exactly like the Vault Boy from Fallout. So, Electroneum, you're not fooling anyone. Yeah? We see where your inspiration has come from. So yeah. Just a random thing I thought I'd tweet about as well, and it was received quite well. And people saw the difference. P2P Cryptos thought it looked like Tintin, which I did see the resemblance, although it's not as much of a resemblance as the Vault Boy, in my opinion. But yeah, I just thought it was something funny, just something that I thought I'd mention at the start of this video. Like I said, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I was going through the statistics of my tweet activity, and I didn't even realise that my tweets had been reaching a lot more people than I thought they were. I'm just not getting as many likes or retweets or whatever, but it's getting a lot of impressions, which is quite cool. I'm not a massive Twitter person, and I've only really done Twitter because of YouTube, but yeah, Twitter is a massive opportunity to get heard by a wide audience, far wider than you may think, so keep that in mind. What I want to talk about though, and I'm just going to go back to my boring desktop, I have recently done a fresh install of Windows. I just felt things are getting cluttered, backed up what I needed to. Nice fresh install of Windows. I hate having desktop shortcuts. I like a clean desktop. But for those of you who may not have noticed yet, there was an update on the Electroneum app, and a skadish! There's a new option under the more section. That's top up your airtime and data with ETN. Obviously, for security reasons, I've blurred out my details. And you go into it, coming soon. We're glad you're interested in this feature. However, it's not available just yet. Please check back soon. Well, we're less than a week away from MWC. They're announcing 2 things, if not more, at MWC. And they've decided to add this to their app. So if I was to put 2 and 2 together here, I'd say that one of their announcements that they're going to announce, and they did say actually that they might try and announce one of them before MWC. So whether or not that happens or not is remain to be seen. But that is what Richard said, I believe, in one of those videos, that one of them may come before MWC, if not on MWC. So it doesn't really matter either way. But really cool, because we know now that one of the announcements has to be an NVMO or an MNO. Gotta be. I top up your airtime and data with ETN. That can only relate to a mobile operator or a mobile virtual network operator. If I was to hazard a guess, it would be a virtual network operator because they're smaller, and obviously you got to get the little fish in first before you go for the big fish. Little fish cardboard box. But sorry, I'm in a really weird mood today. But yeah, hugely exciting thing just to see pop up as an update on the app. And Electroneum haven't tweeted about it or anything, so maybe they they don't want to talk about it yet. But maybe this is just a little teaser for what's to come, because, like I said, this has to relate to an MNO or an MVMO. It just has to. So I'm very excited to see what the announcement's going to come because of this. And little things are just being added and added and added and added. And I think soon we're going to end up with the Gig Guru website. I think soon, because people can download the app on any device now. You can cloud mine. You can purchase ETN direct through Fiat. You've got easy ways to get ETN, and now the mobile operators are going to be starting to accept ETN for airtime and data, which means now one of the other aspects that needs to come in is the freelancing side of things, the accept ETN for rewards and services. So I think, and I really hope so, I think Gig Guru is around the corner. I think Gig Guru is close to launching, judging by the steps that have been taken on things being released, etc. Obviously, one step at a time. Let's get this these two announcements from MWC out there, which I will cover in detail. But just thought I'd let you guys know this, because this is quite a big development if you think about it, because we know now that it's going to be MVMO, MNO related, one of these announcements. Or it might be a completely separate announcement, and we still have 2 announcements for MWC. So that's what I want to talk about that. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I've just lobbed my pen across the desk. But yeah, what I want to talk about now is, let me get rid of this screenshot, is I want to talk about this company, Xiaomi, and I want to talk about OnePlus. And the reason for that is I want to try and gather people's opinions on what devices they use and why they use those particular devices. Obviously, Apple users, you're not going to stray away, because it's a completely different ecosystem and operating system. iOS, people use iOS because they love iOS. You're not going to take them away from that. But in terms of Android now, I'd like to know if people are still buying Samsung phones. Bearing in mind, Samsung weren't too outrageously overpriced a couple years ago, to seeing the Galaxy series starting at over £700, $799 or whatever, and that can go all the way up to like $1,400, as opposed for getting a smartphone that performance wise is exactly the same. Camera may not be as good, but in terms of raw performance, exactly the same. I want to gather the opinions on those that maybe they want to start saving a bit of money on their smartphones, because if you look at the Mi 9, that's coming out, that's being announced at MWC. That's what's so brilliant. They're jumping the gun and making sure it's announced to try and steal Samsung's spotlight. And Samsung, for me, I had the S8. I think it was a great phone. I experienced terrible slowdown on that device not that long after I got it. But at the same time, Samsung's just launched their Samsung One UI, which is supposed to be a lot better than TouchWiz. And TouchWiz was crap. It was crap. It was such a bad skin on top of Android. But MIUI I've used, and I liked it. Oxygen OS on OnePlus is bloody brilliant. It is in my opinion, the best Android skin on top of Android as such that you can get at the moment, apart from literally stock Android. I think it's better than MIUI. I think it's better than what's Huawei's one. It's similar to MIUI, UI or something, and in my opinion, it is the best one to have. But when we talk about pricing, and specs, obviously the Mi 9 is going to come with the new Snapdragon 855, which will support 5G technology. Whether Xiaomi announce a 5G version of the Mi 9 is another thing, because that's something that, if I go here, OnePlus are going to be selling a OnePlus 7 5G version. Now the thing with 5G, yeah, it's supposedly up to like 40 times faster than 4G, which supports up to like 100 megabit bandwidth, whereas the 5G can go all the way up to 2 gigabit bandwidth. But at the same time, 4G was such a massive leap over 3G. People will still happily be able to do everything on a 4G device. And because OnePlus are going to be one of the early adopters of 5G, you're going to have the cost associated with that. So a OnePlus device is going to cost, which they will have the 4G version, so you don't have to pay that 5G tax as such. But an early adopter of 5G will pay on average around $200 to $300 more than what the 4G variant would be. Now, when we talk about Samsung in the line of this, their phones are not budget friendly already. So if they announce a 5G version, that's going to be right at the top end at around $1,400-$1,500. It's going to be right up there, because they won't do a mediocre spec'd 5G version. They will put the top RAM spec, the top storage spec into that 5G variant to charge more money. And I want to gain your opinions. Those that use Samsung, would you consider moving to another device? Because I used to use Samsung. I used to use iPhone years ago. And the most satisfaction I've ever had from a phone has come from this OnePlus device. It's simple to use, and short of that, the Xiaomi Mi A2, which wasn't even a flagship phone, but because it had stock Android, the experience was just so much better. And that, you can pick up that. The Xiaomi... Sorry, it was the Mi A1 I used, but obviously the Mi A2 is the current model of that phone with stock Android. And you can pick that phone up for less than 200 quid. And you can do everything. You know, it still plays PUBG Mobile and Fortnite, and it can still do all those intensive tasks. Just not as well as the flagship with the 800 series Snapdragons. So I wanted to gain your opinions on it, and I know I'm doing it in a video with Electroneum as well. Maybe it would be the only way why you hear this, but obviously they're both, OnePlus and Xiaomi, are at MWC 2019, and OnePlus will be showcasing their 5G phone, which I've read reports about. So I'm going to try and gain as much information on that as possible, because those of you that use the flagship Samsung devices and have seen the price spec for the new Galaxy devices and have just jaw dropped, because in order to get the normal Galaxy, the Galaxy S10 now, it's going to cost you like an extra $200 of what it was last year. Would you consider moving to another device, and what devices should you pick up? These are two manufacturers that I highly recommend. I've had both. I've had the Mi 8, which I absolutely loved, and then obviously I reviewed the OnePlus 6T, and I decided to buy one for myself because it was that good of a phone. And the UI and the software on it is just so minimalistic, it makes it such a good experience. So those two companies I recommend for smartphones. So let me know what you think about that. I know I've rambled on a little bit now, but I'm going to end it here. If you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe to All About Tech. Loads of MWC content coming up. I'm going to try and cover a lot more than not just cryptocurrency at the MWC, because obviously I'm a massive tech person. I love mobile related technologies, and obviously 5G is a big deal, because it is a massive jump in bandwidth and energy efficiency, etc. So give this video a like, comment down below what your thoughts are. I'll cover, as soon as we find out more information about that new feature on Electroneum App, I'll let you know. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out.